I'll wait a few more seconds because the live is going to stay up anyway. So I'll wait a few more seconds. I'm going to wait till I see a minute. After I see a minute, and I'll just start. Hello, hello. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm into the first, I guess, 15 minutes of Straw. The movie Straw. I wanted to make sure I was grounded to see the movie because I know it's a masterpiece. There's no question in that. I know I'll think the movie is good. I like Tyler Perry's movies, okay? I like Tyler Perry movies. Some better than others, but I like Tyler Perry. But I wanted to make sure I was grounded because it's a real thing for people to judge you when you don't have anybody to help you out. Let me tell you something. It don't matter what color you are. I know this is a story for a lot of brown women, but don't matter what color you are. When you are by yourself and nobody ever gives you any help and then turn around and judge you for your shortcomings when you're trying to do it all by yourself. That is a real doggone thing for a lot of people. Because I don't want to lie and act like I never had help before. I actually have had help. This lady, the character that Taraji P. Henson is playing in this movie, nobody ever reached out to help her. And unfortunately, I don't like these brown women in this movie. I don't like them at all, but that's the character they play, and that's that they playing their character, they playing their part. But if you haven't seen this, it's going to be a spoiler alert, but I'm only talking about the first 15 minutes because I'm not completely through the movie yet. It's time for Taraji P. Henson to pay her rent when she walks out the house, okay? And what I noticed about Taraji P. Henson is she's a nice woman. She's a nice woman. That is the reason why I just have to say this based on my personal experience. When you're a nice person, people treat you like shit. And this is why narcissists in this particular world, this is why the narcissists get so far. Because this world is ego-driven, which means it's revolved around the narcissist. The narcissists get whatever they want. People complain about narcissists all the time, but it's the narcissists that get what they want in this particular type of world. Taraji P. Henson, that lady that she played, is a nice woman. I'm already guessing that's why she got treated like crap, because she's a nice woman. When I say about nice, I'm talking about timid. I don't mean a kind person. I don't mean a kind person. When I'm saying nice, meaning that you're a people pleaser. You're trying to say things and talk in a way that don't hurt people's feelings, but it don't matter how they turn around and talk to you. So that's what I mean by calling her a nice person. It's not the same as kind, because a kind person is assertive. A kind person is balanced. They're going to draw a line and they're going to stand up for themselves. In this movie, it does not look like Taraji P. Henson, her character. It does not look like her character knew how to stand up for herself. And when you have a hard time standing up for yourself, and people are used to you being timid like that, the minute you try to stand up for yourself, they're not going to like it. There is a serious issue with humanity that I see in the first part of this video. Specifically, I'm going to have to say black. And you know what? I'm going to say black instead of brown because they're acting black. These women in this movie, I know they playing a role, but they are black women. And I do mean black in the way that is negatively. I don't like the way the term black is in this particular type of society, because in this society, black means everything that's bad. But in other societies prior to this, like thousands of years ago, black meant holy, right? Black meant holy and white meant death in other societies. But see, in this particular type of society, that term black has changed to death and white is become holy. I think because maybe white supremacy. But I'm just saying, right now, white has become holy and black has become death in this particular type of cycle, or this particular type of whatever it is, the white supremacy, I guess, right? uh Hold on a second. Let's see. Hello. I'm just talking about the first 15 minutes of Straw that I just saw so far. But it's going to play back. I'm going to save the live so you can hear everything. So Taraji P. Henson walks out and this lady said, "Where your rent? I'm so tired of you being late on your rent." Ghetto as hell. Why don't you just put a pay rent or quit sign on the door, give them 5 days to pay their rent, and after that they get it. Like, but you after the, I think after the first 5 days that they're late, or after the first day, I can't remember. You get to pay rent or quit, and then you get evicted. Just go through the doggone process. Why you got to be loud and ghetto? Listen, this is I don't want to. I'm not going to talk about it. This is everything that is so disgusting about the black community. I'm going to say black. Okay? Black is supposed to mean good, but when you use it to describe people, a group of people, it's negative. But when you just use it to describe credit and your balance, it's good. In the black, when you're in the black, like a Black Friday, I know some people talk about Black Friday have other meanings. But financially, Black Friday is like you're in the black. That's a good thing when you use certain terms black. Until you describe a group of people, then that's when you call it everything negative. But so she was loud and ghetto, and Taraji said her character. I forget her character name. I keep saying Taraji P. is a character because I forget the character's name. So Taraji P. Henson's character say, "Can you tell the person to keep the music down because my child has to sleep?" And the lady said, "No." The landlord, "No, he pay his rent. Well, did anybody else pay their rent? Because they probably tired of that loud doggone noise too. Does anybody else pay their rent around there? I mean, is she the only one complaining about that loud music? Other people need to sleep too, unless they just don't have a job and somebody else paying for them to stay there. Because if they got to get up and go to work, then they need to go to sleep too. Okay? So then she goes off to work. 2 people called off, so it's 2 registers that have to be handled. I think, or somebody called off, so it's 2 registers that have to be taken care of. And so her boss was talking to her like she wasn't nothing. Okay, and then the school called her. This is why I'm stopping in the middle of 15 minutes so I can remember everything, like consecutively. Then the school called her on her phone while she's at work, and it's already a doggone zoo at her job, and saying that something is going on with your daughter, and we need you here immediately. We need you there in 30 minutes. They said, "I'm at my job," and she said, "I'm at my job, and somebody called off, and I can't make it." And they like, "Well, you got to get here in 30 minutes. Okay. So it looked like she slipped and fell in the tub, but they looking like it's some kind of abuse that's happening, right? But she slipped and fell in the tub. But they think it's abuse. Okay. I really wish they would sit and talk to the parent. I really wish they would have found some other kind of interventions, like therapy or something, to have her go to some kind of therapy that's necessary to figure out what's going on. I wish they would have come up with something else before they decide to do what they did. So I'm going to get to that. And this is what I'm talking about, humanity. Because I'm seeing everybody's like, she's having such a bad day. I'm seeing a problem with humanity. But I get to that. We know this is a game. We're inside of a game. It's a virtual reality. And so it's not necessarily humanity, is the way the reality is that's programmed in her. But that's another topic. Uh so her boss comes in, which is played by Glenn Turman. Glenn, I think his name is Glenn Turman, who played on A Different World. Okay, who played the sergeant or whatever on A Different World. Glenn Turman. And Glenn Turman comes in while Taraji P. Henson character is on the phone. And he said, "What are you doing? We need you to get out to the front and go to work." She said, "It's the school. It's the principal." He said, "I don't care if it was the president. You ain't leaving here." She said, "I gotta get there in 30 minutes. They telling me I have no choice." Well, you better, so he was like, he was just going off on her. He was like, "I have no choice, I have no choice but to get there." Okay, she said, "You think I can get my check?" And so Glenn Turman's character said, "What? First I gotta go and go cover for you because you gotta go to your school, to your daughter's school, and now you want me to give you a check? Now you want me to do you a favor?" So he didn't give her check. She gets to the bank. She tries to take $40 out of her account, and it's showing insufficient funds. So when she's inside the bank in line, Sherry Shepherd is the person who is the banker. And she's talking to Sherry Shepherd saying that I just need $40 to get out the bank, and it's showing insufficient funds. And she said, "I have $47 in the bank, and I'm trying to just take out 40. And Sherry Shepherd was like, "Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have the minimum amount that's needed. It will lock it. It will show insufficient funds." And she kept saying, "I just need $40. I just need $40. Sherry Shepherd brushing her off. "Ma'am, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. Get back in line. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do anything." Just like treating her like she's trash. Treating her like she's trash. And I'm talking about the characters, not the actual actresses or actors. Okay? She gets to the school, and she gets there too late. And Child Protective Services is there to take her child away, because she has some kind of bruise from where she fell in the tub, but I guess to them it looks like child abuse. Okay? Why didn't they talk to her, have a meeting with her or something? They just jump to conclusions like that. And they see how bad she's struggling. And then the person from Child Protective Services say, and they said that your child is always coming to school hungry. Because I guess she didn't have enough money. She didn't have enough money for lunch money. So, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. When you only have, I went to a public school, so this seemed like it might be a public school. When you have a certain when you don't make but a certain amount of money a year, you get free lunch. I don't know what school this is where lunch is not free and breakfast is not free. I don't know what kind of school this is, but the school I went to, when you make a certain amount of money and you have a certain amount of expenses, then your breakfast and lunch should be free. And you either pay, it's either free, you would pay a certain amount of money a month for a certain, and if you pay, like if you have like a high paying, if your parents made good money, depending on the expenses, if your parents made good money, then you pay full price. For me at the time, I think it wasn't more than $1 or $2 because I went to school in the 80s. Okay, 80s, early 90s, high school, early 90s. Okay. So her food seemed like it should have been free. What kind of school was this? Was it a private school or something? Because it seemed like her meals should have been free. They should have had that. Maybe this is a new generation. Maybe they got rid of that program. I don't know. Let's see. And that was it. I say all that to say, not one person reached out to help her. Now, one of these brown women, and I know it's the character they playing, not one of these brown women have said, do you need help? Taraji P. Henson character said, listen, I'm doing all this by myself. I'm doing the best I can. It's almost like they did not have a soul. Glenn Thomas' character didn't have a soul. The lady that was on, when she was trying to check her out at the store, trying to buy something that wasn't covered by WIC, and she just said, forget that. And then the man threw some glass, the man that was with her in the line threw some glass on the floor behind the counter. And Taraji P. Henson was so meek and so timid. When you're meek and timid and people treat you like crap, this is the stuff that make you blow up buildings. This is the stuff that will make you want to unalive everybody in sight. Because you're meek. And when I say you, I'm just speaking, I already know how that feels. So I'm not pointing my finger at anybody in particular. I know how that feels. When you're timid and you're nice and you're meek, and you try so hard not to hurt everybody's feelings, but they don't care how they talk to you, you get to a point where you never speak up for yourself, and when you finally had enough, you're going to destroy everything in sight. The reason why is because you always try not to hurt anybody else's feelings. But other people never care how they treat you. And when you're meek and timid like that, that's when you're alone. That's when you're alone. That's when people feel like they don't have to help you. I don't know if people are demonic or what. But it's almost like you have to be a narcissist. You have to be aggressive. You can just be assertive. But it's almost like that type of personality is the reason why folks are nasty. Okay. So they took her child away, and that's why I stopped in a pause and decided to do this live. And so far, I'm like not liking what I see with humanity. Okay. People say it's a lot of stories like this lady in the black community. Well, the problem is nobody wanted to help her. It's not even the fact that she was poor. It's the fact that nobody wanted to help her. Nobody wanted to help her. Okay, so has she been a Caucasian woman and she's struggling with a child and nobody wants to help her, she'll have the same problem. The problem is that I see is not just this is the struggle that a brown woman have. This is a problem with humanity that I'm seeing. But anyway, I'm about to finish, and I'm gonna watch a little bit more of this, and if I decide to talk about that, I'll do another live and talk about it. But that's as far as I got when CPS is taking her child out to school. That's as far as I got. So I'm going to end this, and I will talk later. Okay.